Alright, Kitchen Table Wargaming fans, welcome to another battle report. This is going to be the Grey Knights, trying out another list against the Tyranids. This Tyranid list, I've seen versions of it, but I haven't played it, so this will be a fun test. My track record against Tyranids is not swell. So this, for my Warlord, is the Sword Bearers. He's the Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knight. He has Sigil of Exigence to just run away from you if you shoot at him once per game. Unyielding Anvil is the obsec within 6 inches of himself. Side Cannon Silencer. I think that's really all there is to say about that. And then this dude, Mr. Neurothrope, he has the Resonance Barb, he has Symbio Storm, and he has Smite. And he's just rocking around with a big old swarm of hungry Tyranids. So we shall see who is going to be victorious on this day. Coming up with the reviews of the armies next. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2,000 point Grey Knights list. We'll be running a battalion and a patrol today. And I'm gonna be playing around with the 4 Dread Knights because I received a new one. I've got a few more units being painted up by a good friend of mine. The Dread Knight is done except for a silencer, so that's the one. There's a couple things not WYSIWYG because I don't have all the models yet, but they're coming and I'm excited about them. But we have enough to proxy, so we're good. So the Rapiers battalion here is led by this Dread Knight, Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knight, Side Cannon Silencer, and Sword. He has the 1 CP Shield of Humanity, so he has also gained the, I think it's called Inescapable Wrath Warlord trait for the Rapiers specifically, so he can advance and charge. This would be my brand new Drago model. I have another Crow that is on the way, but my Drago model is super cool. Anywho, he's also along for the ride in the Rapiers battalion. Then I have, oh sorry, it's a patrol, not a battalion, because I have a single squad of strikes. There is a side cannon in the squad, and the weapons are as they appear to be. Once I have more units, I'll be able to have more consistency with what weapons they get. So there's 2 falchions, a force stave, and a sword in there. But it's alright, we'll play them as they are. Then to the right, I have 2 squads of purifiers. Again, once I have all my units arrived, I will go ahead and paint some white on their helmet to make them look more purifying goodness, but that's who they are. So my old metal dudes are purifiers. Then I have a 10-man squad of interceptors. These are also going to be redone, magnetized backpacks, so they'll become my strike squads eventually. But there's a 5-man rocking all swords, and then there's a 5-man rocking all halberds, and I'm going to combat squad them. So there'll be 2 5-man squads there, and then a third, so this is my second of my fast attack, would be another interceptor squad as they are. These are some of my very first models ever, so they're glued and they're pretty permanent, so I'm just going to keep playing them as they are. That is the full-on patrol for Rapiers. Then we go over to the patrol for the Sword Bearers. This is going to be led by this Dread Knight. He is actually the Warlord, Unyielding Anvil, Sigil of Exigence. Oh, that's another thing. This guy does have Servant of the Throne. That's it, I think. And then Sigil of Exigence. Then for the troop, we have a single strike squad. No, they don't all have heavy weapons. That's just how they happen to be right now. So when things are better, one of them will probably still have a silencer because of points and fun stratagems, but I don't know for sure. So anyways, 5 strikes. We're going to play them just like they've all got halberds, and that'll be nice. We have Castellan Crow. So we got the old model. He is going to be rocking around. I paid a CP for him to have a Shield of Humanity as well, so he gets Hammer of Righteousness, which is a +1 to wound and melee. Kind of nasty with him and his Strength 5 sword. It's pretty cool. Makes him a little bit like a Drazar, the Master of Blades. I've got 2 more support Dread Knights. The one with the hammer has the teleporter. The one without the hammer is just as he is, so silencer, side cannon. The hammer dude has a silencer and incinerator. And then I also have 1 Razorback with the Storm Bolter and Heavy Bolters. That is a full-on 2,000 point list. Yes, this is going to be a really fun time today. Alrighty folks, here we have the Tyranid swarm coming through to wreck my world. If you've watched a few of my battle reports, you'll know I don't have the best track record with the Grey Knights versus Tyranids, so we'll go over the army. I did forget to film that earlier, shame on me. It's been a little while, out of practice. So we'll go ahead and start back here. We've got 3 Ripper Swarms back there in the corner of the deployment zone. We've got, which one is it? Is it scythed or barbed? Barbed. Okay, so we got 2 of the Barbed Heirodules, they're the shooty version. We got a squad of Termagants. Is that 10?
14.
All right. Then we got 3 Hive Guard over here. There's one inside the building, and I can never remember what they're called. The Neurothrope here. We've got the second of the Barbed Heirodules over here. Then we've got a squad of 5 Zonethropes. There's 3 Biovores. There are another 3 Hive Guard. Another 5 Zonethropes, and then this is the Warlord. He's another Neurothrope, and he has a couple of spells and powers, but we'll get to that stuff when the game is started up. We have a squad of, it looks like a big miss. Is this 15 Termagants? Oh, okay. 14 again. So we got 14 and 14. Makes it easier for my simple mathing there. And then 3 more Rippers way over here on this flank. And 2 Lictors that are hiding in the shadows, waiting to jump out and eat people. So that is it. We got a 2,000 point Tyranid army spread out, as you can see, and we will come back in just a second for the deployment zones, which you're already getting a sneak peek, battle, and the roll-off. All right, folks. Here we are, priority targets. Mission number 33 was the one we rolled up. Grey Knights deployed back this direction over here. I do have a Dread Knight and a Purifier squad in Deep Strike. I've got Dread Knight, just heavy support version, 5 Interceptors, Grandmaster Dread Knight, the Warlord there with Sigil of Exigence. We've got Drago, we've got Strike Squad, Interceptors, Strike Squad, Razorback with Crow, Purifiers, the Rapiers, Grandmaster Dread Knight, and then another 5 Interceptors, and I think that's that. I won the roll-off for the moving objective things. I actually ignored mine. I went across the way and I decided to pull Sean's out from the corner so it's a little bit more visible. He came and yanked this one out that direction to make it more visible, and then he wisely moved that one back further into his deployment zone to get more bodies to sit on it. And then for my final move, I just did nothing really with this one because I liked it. And that is it. So the deployments here, we've got the kind of GW open tournament. So we got some line of sight blocking, some smaller buildings on the outsides for the dense cover. Got little, I don't remember what those are called, but the rock formations that are dense cover, and then 2 smaller but still obscuring buildings in the kind of center in the back. So that's what we're looking at as far as deployment goes, and you've seen the Tyranid deployment in the preview of the army, and here they are set up once again just in case you missed that part. And now we're ready for the roll-off. Sean did a roll and it was a 2. See if I can best that. Oh, I rolled a 1. Wow. That's not gonna be good. So we'll be back with Tyranids turn 1 next. All right, folks, we are enjoying the outdoors today, so ignore the sirens in the background. They're not coming for us. Here's what has happened in the Tyranids turn 1. We had some Rippers advance, getting onto this objective over here. We that also gave you engage on fronts, didn't it? Because you took that as a secondary. So we've got 2 for engage. These zones move forward. Everybody else, I think everybody else sat still. These guys made a charge. We'll explain why that happened in a second. So back here in the psychic phase, those guys, sorry, I was trying to remember, they got a card because that's nice. They have Catalyst cast on them. You cast Symbiostorm, right, onto those guys there. I think that was it on the psychic phase. Not a whole lot to be done there. And then with lanes available for Shoesting, he did go ahead and shoot, I think, 1 squad of Hive Guard went into these Interceptors. I lost 2 there. Was it the double shoot that targeted?
Same squad shot him over
Right. That's right. I can remember. There's a few things shot at him. I ended up choosing to move him, and I put him in the middle, which I realize is maybe not super smart. But where he was at, he was visible to that barbed hierodule back there. And the way Sean deployed, there wasn't really a spot where he wouldn't be visible to either or one or both. So I went ahead and just stuck him in the middle to get on the objective. These dudes made a heroic 9-inch charge, did no wounds, and then they lost 4 of their number. Whatever, it's not a big deal. But this guy got shot by a Hierodule and Hive Guard, I think, and went down to 3 wounds in the end. And I think when you did your second shoot, you shot at him again, right? And that's where the last 4 came off. This guy I thought was going to receive a whole lot more shooting, and I popped his 3-up invul. Sadly, it's already gone. Yeah, no, made him happy. He only took 3 wounds. I did have to CP 1 because he had paid for the strat to give the extra damage, so his Hierodule was doing 3 damage per. So, yeah. And then the last Hierodule could see this dude, which I didn't realize. I thought he had line of sight on the other 2. But this guy failed 2 saves, so he took 4 wounds total. And that's how it played out. We had the mighty charge. I killed 4 Termagants. He didn't hurt the Dread Knight in that combat round, and that was the end of the turn. So Sean picks up 2 for engage. He started Rod. I think it was the Ripper Swarms in that corner there. I think that's all there is. Not a bad first turn. And we'll come back for the Grey Knights. Turn 1 next. So folks, it's the end of the Grey Knights turn 1. These little strike squad dudes, they strung around the back, tried to advance to get closer to that building and rolled a 1, because that's cool. These strikes stayed still. I forgot to slide Drago forward, but he wasn't going to do a whole lot this turn, besides move forward. He chapter mastered this guy, and then that guy did a little shooting, did a little whittling. We killed 1 whole zone throw over there and injured 1, so that's better than nothing. Then we did do a little bit of shooting into the squad of Termagants. Then we also charged with my 3 remaining interceptors and my Dread Knight. I spent the 1 command point. I've never done it. So proud of myself for remembering. So he fell back and shot, but it doesn't say you can fall back into Psychic, so I didn't Psychic with him. Ironically, I attempted to before I read everything clearly, and he failed the Psychic test, so it didn't really matter. He's still there with 3 wounds. We killed quite a few of these little bugs, but I did his 4, he has 4 attacks down at 3 wounds, and so I chose to do that instead of the sweep because I wanted some of those guys alive, but he's obsec and gives obsec, so I was going to hold the point, and I managed to roll 3 1s out of his 4 attacks. It was brilliant. So he killed the whole dude. Over here, big boy with his incinerator incinerated the Ripper Swarm by himself. I was really proud of him. And then managed to do a wound to those zone throwers back there with his nice little silencer. These guys didn't get to do anything except sit on the point, and then they shot through the door and killed 2 bugs, I think, over that direction. So that's it. The Razorback moved forward. Oh, the Razorback killed the Spore Mine. And I think the Razorback did 2 damage to the Hierodule with his heavy bolters. That was cool. And that's it. That's the end of my turn. I picked up 3 for priority targets, picked up 3 for stranglehold, and I got at least 1 for no prisoners, but I don't remember.
Do something on that. I have a 5+6
Oh, he has a 5 of Philipine, so there might not be 2 damage on the Hierodule. We'll let you know in a second. But that is the end of the Grey Knight's turn.
1 damage.
Now he took 1 damage. He saved 1 because he's cool like that. We'll be back for the Tyranids turn 2, and yeah, there's a lot of shooting that's still wide open, so it could be a problem. We'll see. Alrighty, folks, the Tyranids turn 2 has ended.
So it's 2 units now.
Biovores
2 units now.
pooped over here. Missed, which was cute because they were shooting at the strike squads. They actually did die because of your single-mounted annihilation, so they got shot at twice, and there was 1 dude left. He failed his morale with a 6, like a chump. I'm kind of ashamed. So he ran away. Drago is still on the point, so at least I'll have that. That's better than nothing. Over here, these guys took some shooting. I went ahead and did the True Silver armor on them, and it helped. I lost 1 guy there, and so I figure that's okay. I can live with that. This guy was one of 2 units successfully able to deny any kind of psychic. He denied a big old smite attempt from the zone throats. Or is it called smite? They have a special name for it. Because they have like a special range and it's cheeky.
Called, goodness gracious, just mind wiped me.
Yeah, it's fine. It's smite. It's fine. We know what it is. But he did deny it. I was proud of him. So he denied that. Oh, little Lictor popped up, did a rod for the second time. So he's done that twice in opposite corners. Over here, we had all kinds of shenanigans. So the very first attempted cast was a smite from, I think, your Neurothrope that poked around the corner. And he cast it on an 11 onto my Interceptor squad. So I said, let's go ahead and do Hexagrammic Wards because I've never done it. And I rolled Boxcars. So I denied that. I was so excited. Then he smites with, I don't know, I think it was a Zone Thrope. Or they did Psychic Scream.
Yeah, it was the same squad. Right?
Yeah, it was Psychic Scream did 3, I blocked 2, so I took a wound, and then he proceeded to drop another smite. I can't remember where it came from, but he rolled another super smite. That was 2 super smites. I blocked 1. The second one did 8 mortal wounds on those poor 3 guys. They didn't survive. They killed them. So they're dead. I did get to use a new stratagem, and that was fun. But holy smokes. Anywho, then the little, let's see, these guys, well, they both tried to deny things. Neither of my Dread Knights could deny anything. It was kind of lackluster there. So that was how all that played out. Then in the shooting phase, he did shoot and do some damage to this Dread Knight. He's down to 4 wounds now. The Razorback is also down to 4 wounds. And this guy was left alone because he had a Spore Mine just poking around from that barricade. Came in, charged, did D3 mortal wounds. He rolled a big 3. I shrugged 1. So this guy's still alive, being a nuisance and doing what I need him to do. So that's the end of the story for that. It's a little dicey here, folks. So there we go. He engaged for another 2 points, did another rod, killed 2 units, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to kill 2 units of his, which is not as easy as it might seem. So that'll be fun. So that's where we are at. And we'll be back next for the Grey Knights, turn 2. Alright, so it's the end of Grey Knights turn 2. We did some movings and things. Drago actually ended up using Gate of Infinity on that strike squad to get them over here to the building, to have range, line of sight, etc., to be able to shoot the little spore mines, but mostly to get them on the objective, because I kind of need that help, because I don't think Drago wants to spend his whole game back there. Who knows? Maybe he does. That was in Psychic. Over here, this poor guy died. He took 3 wounds from a smite from Mr. Dread Knight, and then he got shot 11 times with an incinerator, 10 times with an incinerator. That was pretty nice. We then kind of focused, I guess I should talk about the deep strikes and movement. This Interceptor squad was standing right about here, had line of sight, range to shoot them. We did some chip shots with them. This guy moved around, could see just barely, cast Empiric Amplification, and it was denied. He tried to cast Empiric Lodestone. It was denied. It was very exciting. Then I think they tried to cast a smite and it was denied. Or it was just a fail, either way. I think they tried to smite and it was a fail. It was either failed or denied everywhere over here. It was really disappointing, very lackluster, except for his smite. It was exciting. So in the shooting phase, we actually shot and killed 3 of these guys, or 2.5, because 1 was already hurt. So that was kind of a success. This Interceptor squad made the charge all the way through the wall. It was great. I was so proud of them. And then killed the Termagants, and then had the Consolidate range to get in and tie up these Zone Throats. But more importantly for me, I got 3 onto the objective, and he has 3 on the objective, so we're now contesting that, which I like. This Interceptor squad got Chapter Mastered. We shot into the Termagants over there and managed to kill 2. He made 2 5-up Catalyst saves, I think, on those guys. Over here, the Razorback, it shuffled up, got real close to the wall, being friendly, out of line of sight so I can unload my friends later. This Dread Knight, we decided to just move back with him. He got line of sight and range downfield. I chose not to Psychic with him because he's on 4 wounds. You know, he's probably going to end up dying to shooting, but I wanted him to do some shooting first. So he did shoot. He killed a Ripper base, wounded 1, and took 2 more wounds on the Hierodule, or gave 2 more wounds to the Hierodule. That was about it. The main thing I needed to do was kill 2 units, so I got his Lictor and those 2 Termagants that were left. And getting a little closer, holding the board, I picked up my priority targets again, I picked up Stranglehold again. Working my way through, trying to keep things alive. And I still have 1 more unit of Purifiers and Deep Strike. So, biding my time a little bit, and we'll be back for the Tyranids turn 3 next. Alright, Tyranids turn 3 is ended. Other Lictor has popped in. He's done Rod. No surprises there. A lot of shooting happening over here on this guy. He's been brought all the way down to 2 wounds left, and there's a little Spore Mine there. Kind of irksome. In the middle, it was a sad day. The Interceptors, I think, took a little bit of psychic damage. We had some duels. I blocked a lot of things this turn, which is nice because I didn't in the last turn. And then all the shooting, ironically, they were killed almost to a man by the Termagants. And then I failed some Hive Guard, shot and killed the Dread Knight, and then killed the last guy that was standing there. Over here, we took a Hierodule, bunch of shots to the face, and he died. The Razorback was left alone. Thank you, sir. Over here in this building, the Zoanthropes fell back. The 2 remaining from this squad fell back. These guys moved into the building, did a smite, which was blocked, failed a Psychic Scream. Huzzah! Psychic powers. I was proud. So I might not have cast a whole lot yet, but I actually denied a bunch in this turn, which kind of helped me a bit. Then I was charged, and I took a slap from a wet noodle. Injured a guy. It's kind of embarrassing. And then all I did was 1 wound back, because these 3-up invols are nothing to sneeze at. So, end of the turn, Sean once again picks up 2 on engage. He got a 3rd Rod action completed, and then he killed 3 units, so it's going to be hard for me to take care of, grind them down this turn. I will try, mind you, but it's going to be tricky. And he only got 5 on primary this turn. I'm only going to get 10 primary this turn as well, but so that's kind of actually staying close. So we'll be back with Grey Knights turn 3 in just a minute. Alright, so the Grey Knights turn 3 is ended. I was both successful and sad in some ways. Over here we failed to smite Mr. Lictor, but the strike squad moved and was able to shoot and kill Mr. Lictor. My barely alive Dread Knight scooted back a little bit because the silencer was still in range to shoot downwind, and he incinerated that spore because, you know, that's the good thing to do. Oh, and Drago disappeared because he used Gate of Infinity. I ended up spending 2 command points to get this man over here, and then he failed his charge. But he did cast Gate with a 3d6, and I had to reroll it. It was so sad. It used to be such an easy spell to cast, now it's not. And then he cast Empiric Amplification onto the 3-man Zoanthrope squad here. The Dread Knights sitting on their skulls because he shot and killed them real good with Empiric Amplification. Then made the charge. Drago did not, because all of a sudden that charge was real long. Charged in, Mr. Dread Knight managed to get 3 whole wounds through onto this 2-man squad. Kind of embarrassing, really. And because of the 6 was immortal to wound. Oh, I didn't even reroll my wounds. Oh, it's because you denied my hammer hand, that's why. I managed to kill 1. So regardless, I managed to pick 1 guy up. I spent 1 command point to fight on the move with these guys, so they hopped over here, and then between shooting and melee, and shooting from other units helping out, we killed the Hive Guard and meleeed the last Hive Guard, and then we also tagged the Biovores in combat, so that was kind of nice. So we picked up a couple units there. The Razorback disembarked everybody into this ruin. We were about 6 inches away here. I did shoot with Crow and killed 3 with his 4 bolter shots, and that made my charge a little scary. But we rolled a 9 for the charge with those guys. So they made it over there, wrapped around, and just their squad killed these guys, which left Crow hanging out in the wind. Then we went ahead and tagged Mr. Hierodule because those things are terrifying. I lost 2 in the fight back from there. Over here, I deep struck the last Purifier squad. They did Purifying Flame, killed a base, and then shot and killed the last Ripper Swarm over there. Oh, the Razorback killed the one of the 2 by a Hive Guard over here with his Storm Bolt, heavy bolters. That's it. So that was good. What else? Oh, and Drago's, one of his shots killed the other wounded Hive Guard. So there was a lot of little plinking shooting going on. And that's where we end. And that was yeah. I mean, it's all out there now. So if he can get enough things to shoot and hit well, I'm not going to have much left at the end of this turn. But I did stop him from scoring a lot. Picked up a few more of my secondaries. And then he's going to have to decide what to kill. So hopefully that works out in my favor. But that was a pretty good turn 3 for the Grey Knights. So we'll be back for turn 4 Tyranids next. Alright, so the end of the Tyranids turn 4. I don't remember if I said this lictor who I killed in the last turn, he did rod. I think I said that, but he got, okay, so I did, good. So he got his 3 rod so far, so these guys survived because those purifiers got obliterated. Mr. going for some kill more because he has to grind him down. This guy with 2 wounds, he couldn't hold on any longer. He did try his hardest. I was proud of him. This guy actually did really good too. He denied a little bit of psychic. There was a lot of psychic. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of denying. My interceptors took a mortal wound, and then I took a wound from melee in here somewhere, killing one of them. Well, I must have been more mortal wounds because 2 of them are dead now. There were 4 to start with, so it was a bunch of mortal wounds eventually got through because I didn't deny very well with some things. I did deny Symbio Storm on this guy, so I was proud of that. I did not manage to deny Catalyst over there. Would have been good because Crow killed them, the 3-man Hive Guard, and then with Catalyst, one of them survived. That was very sad because we forgot about it at first, and then we remembered, and I was disappointed. The Purifiers, they got shot in the face by a Barbed Heirodule, so, you know, they didn't last too long there. Over here, this was an exciting combat for me because I used my Mighty Swings, whatever you call those, Mighty Blows. I only got 2 through, but I did 12 damage. He shrugged 3 of them, so that guy took 9 wounds off of just 2 that went through. So I'm pretty tickled with his performance. That was pretty good. And that is it. So, for once, I prevented him from scoring engage on all fronts. But aside from that, that was a pretty mighty turn. He's picked up a lot of my units now, so it's hard to keep on doing things, but we're going to keep killing stuff because we've got another turn and a half to do exactly that. We'll be back at the end of Grey Knight's turn 4. At the end of the turn 4 of the Grey Knights, they did nothing. Well, they scored points. He scored points. He also shot, took 3 more wounds off the big Heirodule in the back. Crow was unable to cast Purifying Flame because it was denied. Then he was unable to kill this guy. Took him down to a single wound, but for some reason he
wound up.
Yeah, he did nothing there. We did do some mortal wound damage here on this guy with a smite. I think we did 3 wounds on him. 2 wounds, something, I don't know. We killed this guy in melee. I split his attacks. Probably should not have, but I did. This guy, between Drago and this dude and shooting and the Vortex of Doom, brought him down to 3 wounds, but he's still there. If he hadn't rolled a 6 to save that last one, he probably could have been dead, but it's still a d6 damage, so you never know. So, there it is. That is what we've got left. We have very few things for us Grey Knights, but we've tied up very many things that he has left, so I don't know what's going to happen next. We'll be back for the Tyranids turn 5. It's the end of the game. We'll see what can happen and what we can accomplish. We shall be back. So the Tyranids turn 5 is over. Razorback has died. It died like many times over. Over here, Mr. Crow was charged in the face with the Barbed Heirodule and died. But then he got up and he killed the Hive Guard this time, which he should have done before, so I don't know why it took him so long. So we're 1-1. Yeah, the Catalyst though that was cool. But either way, he finally did his job there. Over here, there was some psychicking happening, there was some denies happening, there were some mortal wounds happening and shrugs happening. In the end, I've got an interceptor with 1 wound here. They survived the combat again. It's been funny, this slap fight over here. And I keep attacking the Warlord because I would love to get rid of Psychers. They hurt me the most, and I can't hurt him because he has a 3-up invul. I keep trying, and I keep failing. Over here, Mr. Drago killed this guy. It did not actually explode, but you know, put the boom marker there. In the shooting phase, however, Drago survived his shooting. This guy took 6 wounds from the Barbed Heirodule before it perished, so that was sad. So that's where we stand there. So, at the end of that turn, we were... let's see, where were we? Points-wise, Sean picked up 5 on primary because you had 2 models to my 1 over there. Actually, you would have had enough.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, it was. So he actually got 10 because he had his 3... Yeah, he had 3 models over here on this side as well. So he got 10 for primary this turn. And I'm not going to have that many for primary. So it's going to come down to this last turn. Shenanigans, psychic things that I really need to have happen. We'll see if they can happen or not. But there are plans in motion in my mind. So we'll be back for Grey Knight's turn 5 and the conclusion of this very delightful game. Well, folks, it's the end of the game. Grey Knight's turn 5. Here's what we did. I had amassed a grand collection of 2 command points with which I teleported these boys with their personal teleporters out of harm's way. They had line of sight and range. They were chickens. Bark, bark. I didn't even shoot them, I realized. But I put them over there to hold an objective. I had these 2 guys here, so we did psychic, I think. No, we didn't really kill anything in psychic. No, we didn't. We did shoot and kill Mr. Neurothrope, and then we shot and charged Drago into the last of the Biovores, and he did what Drago does and killed them, so we were able to take that objective. So we got Stranglehold, priority targets, and we left Big Bertha alone over there. Crow...
That's Bart to you.
So Bart, pardon me, Bart failed his charge twice, we'll have you know. Crow probably would have been dead a long time ago. He rolled a 3 for his charge, and didn't have the command points to spend on it that turn because there were other things going on. And he rolled a 3 again in the next turn, but he had a command point, so he re-rolled that bad boy. And made it on a 5, which is only like 1 inch enough extra, so it was scary. Bart wasn't feeling too chompy, but he did chomp, and he did kill Mr. Crow. So it was a pretty wild game. Yeah, that was pretty fun, pretty exciting. Came down to the end, it really did. In the last, I was able to pick up a few points, so it ended up being 92 to 52. The secondaries went well for me, not quite so grand for Sean that particular game, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Do you have an MVP from your army, sir?
It wasn't him.
I kind of feel like I'm torn between this interceptor squad that refused to die. They should have, but they didn't. And this Dread Knight that also took a beating and kept on ticking. I'm not sure. They were pretty solid guys. They did a good job.
I would say my Hive Guard with my...
Hive Guard. Yeah, your Hive Guard. They did the business. They were fun. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. It's been another Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Report brought to you from the fresh outdoors. It's been fun. It's been a good game. Thank you, Sean. I enjoyed it very much. And hope you guys check us out next time for another Kitchen Table Wargaming Battle Report.